Welcome to Insights IAS. This is a session on previous year question papers and the importance of previous year questions for the prelims. Here we are trying to analyze 2020 question paper, and in this analysis we'll try to connect the questions of 2020 to the previous 10 years of previous year questions, and then in that way we'll try to understand the importance of doing previous year questions for the prelims. In these last few days, that is 4 days, you can just go through the previous year questions and understand the topics which are asked in the previous year papers, and thereby just get that a kind of hint for the 2021 question paper. So let's start with 2020 first question. So this is a set A I am referring here. So set A, first question from 2020. This is about Aadhaar. In 2020, first question, set A is talking about Aadhaar. So they have made some four statements about Aadhaar. But if you see 2018 12th question and 2018 17th question. In 2018 12th question and 2018 17th question, UPSC has already asked you a question on Aadhaar twice in 2018. So when you have gone through 2018 question paper and have seen that there are two questions which are based on Aadhaar, then the next thing that you should have done is, there they have asked, UPSC has asked two questions in 2018. So Aadhaar is important. When you are preparing for 2020 and when you are in 2019, you should have read the news items related to Aadhaar. There was a Supreme Court judgment. Those things were in the news that time. And in those news, you could see these statements that it is mandatory for the benefits that are funded out of consolidated funds of India. So through that news articles, you would have read about this. So then answer would be anywhere between A and B. And then you know that in the news, you have seen that Aadhaar metadata cannot be stored for more than 6 months actually, but here it is given as 3 months. So one is not there, answer is B. So this is how you should analyze the previous year papers and then think about the coming questions that you can see in the 21 or 2020. So here in 18 you should have seen Aadhaar, then you should have expected that Aadhaar is important, and that is how you could have seen or you could have expected a question on Aadhaar in 2020. So let's move on to 2020 second question. So 2020 second question is about Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha. So this, I will say that this is a question based on the powers between Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Let's see the previous year question which can be connected to this 2020 second question. You see 2012 57 question. All the question papers that I am referring here are set A. So you can go and see set A 2012 57 question. The question is, a deadlock between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha calls for joint sitting of a parliament during the passage of. It is the only ordinary bill. The deadlock on money bill cannot be called for joint session, and the deadlock on current constitutional amendment bill cannot call for joint session. So the answer is only one here. But you see, when you know that a constitutional amendment cannot call for joint session, you know that both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha has equal powers connected to amending the constitution. So through the analysis of 2012 57th question, you would have answered the 2020 second question. Then next move on to, yeah, same question, like same question related to powers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha was also asked in 2013 First question, set A, is also related to the money bill and the powers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So, through the analysis of 2012, 2013, you could have easily expected or you could have easily solved this 2020 second question. Next, move on to 2020 fifth question. This reads, in India, separation of judiciary from executive is enjoined by. The answer is Direct Principles of State Policy, Article 50 talks about the separation of judiciary from the executive. So you see there are number of questions from the previous year like 2010 to 2019. Every year at least 2 to 3 questions you will see from DPSPs. So when you have seen these previous year questions where you see DPSPs coming regularly again and again, then you are expected to read these in depth, the directive principles. Then if you have gone through them, then it becomes very easy for you to solve this fifth question of 2020. Then next move on, like you can see same thing like here 2012 sixth question is about DPSPs. 2013 38th question is about DPSPs. And the same thing was asked again in 2020 in a different way. Then move on to the 2027th question. This reads, a constitutional government by definition is A. Answer is limited government. You see a connected question. 2014 59th question. Same on the, it was also framed on the same lines. A constitutional government is one which, a one which places effective restrictions on individual liberty. No. Second statement reads, places effective restrictions on the authority of the state in the interest of the individual. So this is simply called as limited government. So the same thing was differently asked again in 2020. So this statement, second statement was changed and kept in option D and concised and said it as limited government. Same question 2014 59 was differently asked. Here is 2027th question. Let's move on to the 2028th question. So 2028th question is about this talking about, you see, uh, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Here, question reads, other than fundamental rights, which of the following parts of the Constitution of India reflect or reflects the principles of and provisions of? So he's asking which of the following preamble, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties reflect the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, reflect the principles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So most of the students who have seen this question have thought, "Arey, this is very unconnected, very innovative question that UPSC has asked." It is nothing innovative. There was already a question in 2011, 46th question. You see a similar kind of question was asked, wherein Universal Declaration of Human Rights was mentioned and they asked which of the following are covered under Universal Declaration. So if you have gone through this 2011 46th question and know that there is a question was asked on Universal Declaration of Human Rights, then you should have at least like when gone through Google and read about Universal Declaration of Human Rights and then connect the principles of preamble, principles of DPSP, principles of fundamental right duties with the principles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So here answer is 1, 2, 3 because in preamble also we talk about freedom of expression, speech, etc. In DPSPs you talk about right to work, etc. In fundamental duties you talk about education of children, etc. So all of them have reflections to the principles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Next, move on to the 2020 11th question. The question reads, a parliamentary system of government. A parliamentary system of government is one in which the answer is the government is responsible to the parliament and can be removed by it. Excuse me. So in similar way, a 2015 91 question you see This also reads on the same lines. There is a parliamentary system of government in India because Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Answer is D here. The same thing was asked differently, and answer in 11th question is B. So same question from 2015 91 question lifted and asked in a different way in 2020 11th question. Then you see 2020 12th question. The question is about which part of the Constitution of India declares ideal of welfare state. Answer is directive principle. Again you see 2015-89 question you see. The ideal of welfare state in Indian Constitution is enshrined in its directive principle. Same question. 2015-89 question was differently asked in 2020 12th question. Nothing new. You see this. This is a 2011 question which was asked on Karl Marx philosophy, Karl Marx ideologies. So Karl Marx explained the process of class struggle with the help of which one of the following theories? Answer is dialectical materialism. Again, based on this question, you could have expected that something related to Karl Marx is important. UPSC is asking about Karl Marx theories, Karl Marx philosophies, Karl Marx ideology. Then, if you had read a little bit about Karl Marx, Marxism, communism, then you would know that in 2020 a question was asked connecting the commonality between Gandhism and Marxism. So the commonality between Gandhism and Marxism is nothing but expectation of a stateless society. So again, 2020-14 question has some kind of relation to 2011 26th question. Then you see 2020 18th question. This question is about with reference to the provisions of Part 4 of the Constitution of India, which of the following statements is correct? So this is about Part 4. So Part 4 is related to DPSPs. DPSPs many times, I already showed you that there are in number of times DPSPs have been asked in the previous year questions, and again UPSC asked the same DPSPs in a different way. They shall be enforceable. DPSPs are not enforceable. You remove one, either two and three. Let's see three. The principle laid down in this part are to influence the making of laws by the state. Even this statement was directly asked in the previous year question. So answer is two and three. So same thing you see. 2013 38th question you see. According to the Constitution of India, which of the following are fundamental to the governance of the country? The same statement was taken and put it here as a third statement. The principles laid down in this part are to influence making of laws by the state. Making of laws means fundamental to the governance. So both are related. So same thing lifted and kept was asked in 2020 18th question. Again you see 2020 question is about President of India. There are n number of questions in the previous year papers where President of India was asked. So regularly you will see every alternative year you will see a question was asked about President of India. So here again 2020 20th question is on the expected lines. It is about the President of India. You can see 2010 76th question is about President of India. Okay, this is how UPSC repeats questions. Let's see 2020 22nd question. This is about Buddhism. This is about religious history of India. Consider the following statement. So they were asking that Sthaviravadins belong to Mahayana Buddhism, Lokatravadins belong to Mahasangika sect, deification of Buddha by Mahasangika fostered Mahayana. So this is basically about question is about Mahayana Buddhism, Bodhisattva concept. These are related here. So on the same lines, previously also UPSC asked us questions like you see 2017 53rd question is about Buddhism, so sects of Buddhism. Then you see 2019 ninth question is also about Buddhism, Mahayana, etc. So here in 2019 first statement you see deification of Buddha is part of Mahayana Buddhism. If you know this, then you would have at least known this 22nd statement, this third statement is true. If that third is true, then you would have eliminated this. So this is how UPSC is repeatedly asking same questions again and again. So in a short, if you want to know about Buddhism, Buddhism is basically divided between Mahayana and Hinayana. This is larger wheel, this is a smaller wheel. This Mahayana is also called as Mahasangikas. These are related to idealistic school of philosophy, whereas Hinayana is related to realistic school of philosophy. So here you can say these are the thinkers related to Mahayana or Nagarjuna. Here this school is also related to Bodhisattva concept, who involve into praying the Buddha in the form. And also, there are other schools related to this Mahayana sect or this part, where you can Sunyavada is also related to Mahasangikas. Then Yogachara Vijnanavada is also related to same school. Even Lokattaravadins are related to same schools. So these part Mahasangikas, Mahayana, Bodhisattva, Nagarjuna, idealistic school, larger wheel, Sunyavada, Yogachara Vijnanavada, all are related to, or will all of this will come under one part, and the other part, that is Hinayana or smaller wheel, it is realistic school. The sub schools under this can be divided into Sautantrika, Vaibhasika. These are the schools under this. They are also related to, or they are also connected to Staviravadins. Stavira means school of elders. So these Staviravadins or school of elders are little bit orthodox. When you are orthodox, you follow very strict rules. When you follow very strict rules, you will have less number of followers. So these are Staviravadins, Hinayana, Theravada, realistic school, Sautantrika, Vaibhasika, Sammitiya, all come under this part, the other come under this part. So based on this knowledge, you could have easily solved this. Staviravadins belong to Mahayana, false. Staviravadins belong to Hinayana part. You see, this is Staviravadins. Then Lokatravadin sect was an offshoot of Mahasangika. Fine. Here I told you Lokatravadins are related to Mahayana Mahasangikas. So this is also true. The deification of Buddha by Mahasangikas fostered Mahayana. This is false, fine, a true statement. It is a repetition of from the previous years. So again, you see this question. South Andrika and Samitiya schools are related to Jainism. No, they are part of Hinayana part. I told you South Andrika and Samitiya. They are Hinayana. So it is not Jainism. Then Sarvastavadins held that constituent phenomena were not holy. Yeah, this is a true statement. And Sarvastavadins are also referred to as Sautantrika. So Sarvastavadins and Sautantrikas are same. They are part of Hinayana. And this deification of Buddha related to Mahayana, treading the path of bodhisattvas. image worship. These are all part of Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, this is in short about Buddhism. Let's move on to 2020 30th question. So this question is about rock edicts, etc. Like there was who among the following rulers advised his subjects through his inscription. Then it is basically this question is about Ashoka and the rock edicts of Ashoka. This is a easy question, but even for those freshers who are preparing, just to see the previous year questions which were asked related to Ashoka. In 2019, a question was asked on Ashoka. In 2016, a question was asked about edicts of Ashoka. Who of the following had first deciphered the edicts of Emperor Ashoka? This is James Prinsep. So continuously questions are being framed on Ashoka. Even in 21, when you read ancient history, please guys go through concepts of like Mauryan dynasty, then art and architecture of during Mauryan dynasty, then go to Gupta dynasty, see Gupta coinage, Gupta art, the scholars during Gupta age, then you read Harshavardhana. Among these things, at least you will get one or two questions. Regularly, UPSC keeps asking these questions. So go through these questions or these concepts. You see 2020 34th question. This is about Fort William College. Wellesley established Fort William College at Calcutta because he wanted to train British. So let's not go into the answers. This is about the importance of doing previous year questions. And you see 2018 question you see. Already in 2018, 89 question, a third statement or third this is related to Fort William College, Arthur Wellesley. The answer is not Arthur Wellesley, it is actually Lord Wellesley. So you remove three. But you see, whenever you go through previous year questions, everything that is mentioned in these previous year questions, everything becomes important. This Sanskrit College, Calcutta Madrasa, William Jones, Warren Hastings, who is Arthur Wellesley? He's a brother of Lord Wellesley. Everyone mentioned in the previous years, you should go through them. So in 2018, they have asked you Fort William College, Calcutta Madrasa, Sanskrit College, Banaras, and from this UPSC has taken this Fort William College and asked you in 2020. They'll take Calcutta Madrasa and they may ask you in 21 or 2022. Same thing, Sanskrit Bengal College or College of Banarasi, they may ask you in 21, 22, etc. So this is how questions repeat in UPSC. So just whenever you see any concept in the previous years, just try to get a basic understanding and basic facts about these things. And then you see guys, 2020 37 question. This is about in the context of recent advances in human productive reproductive technology, pro-nuclear transfer is used for. This concept is basically a three-parent baby concept. So the answer is prevention of mitochondrial diseases in the offspring. But you see, the same kind of question was asked previously in 2017, 78th question. This question is about what is the application of somatic cell nuclear transfer technology. So basically, this somatic cell nuclear transfer technology is different from this pro-nuclear transfer technology, but both the concepts are from the same field, genetics, cloning, etc. based concepts. So if you have read this and understood the basic concepts, then you would have actually went into reading this above concept of three parent baby, then it would have become easy for you to solve this 2020 37 question. Let's see 2020 38th question. With the present state of development, artificial intelligence can effectively do which of the following? So it is about artificial intelligence and its applications. The answer is all the above, but you see in 2018, UPSC has already asked you question on some of the basic current affairs or basic science and technology. You see, in 2018, you see artificial intelligence was mentioned in the question. Blockchain technology was asked in the question. CRISPR-Cas9 was mentioned. Cryptocurrency was mentioned. All these have come again and again, repeated. 2020 they asked artificial intelligence, 2020 they asked blockchain. Huh? You see again this virtual light 20, so this artificial intelligence was taken from 2018 and they asked you functions of artificial intelligence in 2020. Then you see 2020 39 question you see. Most of the students fail to understand what is this visual light communication. Arre, this is very difficult question. People felt this is a bouncer question. No, nothing like that. This is just a repetition of question which was asked in 2016. Fifth question, set A, was about light fidelity. So the same concept is related to virtual light communication. So basically, Li-Fi is about short distance wireless communication. Then if you have read about Li-Fi, then you know VLC is about not long range, but it is a short range. You remove this second statement and then you would know that C is the option. It is not at all difficult. You just need to go through the previous year question papers. That's all. Then you see 2020 40th question. This is about blockchain technology. As I already told you in 2018, there was something called as blockchain technology which was connected to cryptocurrency. Then if you have gone through 2018 64 question and read about this basic concept, you would have known that blockchain technology forms base of cryptocurrency, and it is blockchain is not only related to cryptocurrency, but it is a fundamental concept which can be used for developing many other technologies. Then you know that in 2020, then this statement would have become false. That structure and design of blockchain is such that all the data in it are about cryptocurrency only. No, it is not just cryptocurrency, but many technologies. So you remove two, and the answer is one and three. And then you go for 2020 43rd question. This is about some experiment that was given, and the answer is evolved ELISA. You see, in 2017, 87th question is about ELISA. If you have gone through this, you would have read about those experiments, then you would have addressed that 2020 43 question. Even if, like in 2014 68 question is also there are some things related to Voyager 1 and 2. You would have eliminated that this experiment is not related to Voyager. So this is how UPSC is repeating questions from one year to the other. 2014 68 Voyager, 2020 also you see Voyager in the option. So then you see 2020 44th question. This is about, so you see stem cells here in third statement. So basically this is about stem cells, genetics, etc. Then you see 2012 16th question. This is also about stem cells. So 2012 16th question repeated in 2020 44th question. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Then you see 28, yeah, 2020 55th question. This is about something called as IAEA safeguards. So people thought that this is a very new question, but it is nothing like that. 2018 33 question is about some additional protocol IAEA. One of the options or the answer for that was civilian nuclear civilian nuclear reactors come under IAEA safeguards. That is the answer, and that they in 2020 they asked the reasons for this. Why some of the civilian nuclear reactors are kept under IAEA safeguard? Because some use imported uranium and some use domestic supply. So that is why wherever we are importing uranium or into those reactors where we are using imported uranium, those reactors are kept under IAEA safeguards. So that is the basic concept. You would have known by going through 2018 33 question. Then you see 2020 58th question. Here, the basic concept of the question is about the consequences or the effects of 1991 economic liberalization. Again, you see same kind of question which was asked in 2017. This is 2017, 77 question. Same on the same lines which was made. Effects on the consequences of 1919 economic liberalization. Here they have given something. Here they have given some consequences. But the basic concept, the underlying concept between 2017 77 question and 2020 58th question are same. 1991 economic liberalization. You see 2020 59th question. They are saying, you read this first statement. In terms of short-term credit delivery to agriculture sector, district central cooperative banks deliver more credit in comparison to scheduled commercial banks and regional rural banks. So we don't know, maybe or may not be. But if you have gone through the previous year questions, you would know that in 2011, you see a question was asked, 83rd question, where it was directly asked, which of the following have highest share in the disbursement of credit to agriculture? Answer here is commercial banks. It is not rural banks or regional rural banks. It is not cooperative banks. It is not microfinance institutions. Same thing was lifted and asked in 2020 in a different way. This is a wrong statement. If that is a wrong statement and you read second statement, this is okay statement, then you take okay statement. Answer is 2 only. So then you see 2020 65th question you see. So this is the members of G20. Guys, UPSC has been telling you guys, please look into G20. Look into G20. 2016 77 question, you have option G20. Even though this question is about not G20, but this is about Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. This is question is about ASEAN, and this question is about EU. Digital Single Market Strategy is about EU. But you see, the G20 is repeatedly coming in the options. Whenever you see something in the options, guys, go through it because whichever is repeated in the options again and again, UPSC will take that option and will frame a question on that option in the coming years. In 2016, you see G20 in the option. In 2070, you see G20 in the options. Again, directly lifted from 2016, 2017, and asked as a question in 2020. So every time you see something, don't just read the question and do the answer. See what is SCO, find out about SCO. A question can be asked. SARC, find out. G20, find out. Here, BRICS question can be asked, and it was asked in many times. EU question will come. G20 questions will come. ASEAN, definitely questions will come. So every option that is there in these questions should be properly read. So then you see 67 question you see. So this was basically about the comparison between wholesale price index and consumer price index. So first statement you read, guys, the weightage of food in the consumer price index is higher than that in wholesale price index. Okay. You see 86 2010 question paper, 86th question you see. Second statement you see. As compared to consumer price index for industrial workers, the wholesale price index gives less weightage of food articles. So here also WPI, CPI and food. Here also WPI, CPI and food. So in 2020 to 2020, nothing changed. They have asked it in a different manner. That's all. So same things will repeat, guys. So please go through these previous years. Just make a list of all these previous year concepts and get an understanding. Definitely today we are some 1 week before prelims. I am challenging you that after prelims, Insights IAS will come up with a video wherein we will connect at least 30 to 40 questions of 2021 to the previous years. So that is the confidence in the previous year question paper. So go through these previous year questions. Learn the concepts that are mentioned. Again, you see 69th question of 2020. The questions is about MSP. You see 2018th 93rd question, you see MSP. MSP is one of the favorite topics as similar to DPSPs, which is a favorite topic from polity. MSP is a favorite topic from economy. Soils is a favorite topic from geography. Similarly, there are many things. If you go through these previous year question papers, you will understand these concepts are repeated again and again, and it is your basic duty expected from you, and you should have gone through this. So here again, MSP was asked in 2018-93, and which was asked again in 2020 69th question. Then you see 2027 70th question. This is very typical question which I was talking about, what the importance of reading all the options. See, you see this 2019 67th question, you see. Basically, this question is about if you read which of the following is issued by registered foreign portfolio investors to overseas investors who want to be part of Indian stock market without registering themselves directly. The answer is about participatory note, P notes. So most of the students, what they'll do, they'll read the question, they'll find out the answer, and they'll move on. That is the biggest mistake that they'll do when they're doing previous years. Don't move on. See the other options. Okay, there is something called certificate of deposit. There's something called commercial paper. There is something called as promissory note. Understand what are these concepts. Know about them. Know about these concepts. This is called as spirit of inquiry. This is also related to scientific temper, both of which are very important if you want to clear the UPSC. Because UPSC frames questions based on this spirit of inquiry, based on the scientific temper. It is also a fundamental duty to develop these things. And UPSC will definitely test your spirit of inquiry, definitely test your scientific temper. It is tested in all the level at all the levels, prelims, mains, even in interview, they'll test these things. So guys, develop. If you have, it's good. If you don't have these qualities, please develop them. So you see, certificate of deposit 2019 option A, which was asked has second statement in 2020 70th question. Commercial paper from 2019 B option was lifted and kept it as a first statement in 2020 70th question. And they just, to make it a little bit difficult, they asked third and fourth statement. Okay. Then you see again same typical question, the importance of going through the options. You see 2020 71 question, Parivrajaka, Shramana, Upasaka. Most of the students felt these are very difficult questions. Guys, these are not difficult questions. Only you haven't read the previous year papers properly. You see, in 2016, 89th question, there was something called memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories. Answer was Magadha. Most of you might have known. If a question was framed on Magadha, you might have answered, but you see Shramana here, option A, Parivrajaka here, option B, Agraharika, option C. These were lifted and asked as a question in 2020, Shramana, Parivrajaka, etc. So this is the importance of UPSC, guys. Sorry, this is the importance of previous year UPSC question papers. So this is what I say as understanding UPSC mind. You understand UPSC mind, it becomes easier for you to clear this exam. They are in the radar. All these questions, all these concepts, I will say, they are in the radar of UPSC. When something is under the radar of UPSC, they may come any year. So anything that you see in the options, you should prepare them thoroughly because they are within the jurisdiction, they are within the context of UPSC. So understand UPSC mind. You will understand the question papers, you will understand the questions. So next you see 2020 73rd question. This is about national parks, protected areas, and mapping of these national parks. So 2020 73rd question. Same question, same kind of question was asked in 2019. 18th question. National park was given and its location was asked. In 2019 again national parks were given. Then they asked which of them falls under Augusta Malay Biosphere Reserves. All these three questions are related to the trijunction of Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. If you have understood this trijunction and the national parks and biosphere reserves, Nilagiri Biosphere, Kaveri Basin, Augusta Malay Biosphere Reserve, understand these Western Ghats, the trijunction, establishment of national parks trijunction, you would have answered these things. Sorry, this 18th question, 29, this is not about trijunction, but trijunction is an important concept. 2020 73rd and 2019 27th question, both of them are related to the same part. So again, you see 2020 75th question. So this is the importance of doing options perfectly. So here you see a question was asked on Indian swamp deer. The answer is about Kanha National Park. But you see, guys, in 2012 92nd question that this was mentioned in the option, that is there is something called swamp deer. Even in 2013 87th question, swamp deer was mentioned. So what is expected of you? Just guys go to Google, just type in swamp deer, read it from Wikipedia, open Wikipedia, and just read the basic first paragraph. Barasingha is also called is a deer species distributed in Indian subcontinent. Population in northern and central India are fragmented. So then you see go and see about the distribution of this swamp deer. In the distribution, you see in the second para, can you see Kanha National Park here, guys? Can you see this in the 1960s? Today, the distribution is much reduced and fragmented due to major losses in 1930s following unregulated hunting and conversion. Large tracts of grassland to cropland. Swamp deer occur in Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh in two localities. So this is Kanha National Park is the answer here in 2020 75th question. And then you see again 2020 77th question, musk deer was asked. So guys, you see again 2012 92 question, 2012 92 question. Every animal that is mentioned under this 2012 92 question. Here it is, you see musk deer here mentioned as musk deer. A question was asked in 2020, the location of musk deer. Then the same thing you would have done, musk deer, just type in Google, go to Wikipedia, then read the location. You see, musk deer live mainly in forested and alpine scrub habitats in the mountains of southern Asia, notably Himalayas. So, this is in Himalayas. Then, if it is in Himalayas, Manas is removed, Kishanpur is removed, then Gangotri is. The answer is A. So, guys, all these animals. This question is 92nd, 2012, the 92nd set a question paper. Set a question paper. So every animal that is mentioned in this question, Indian Great Indian Bustard, a question was asked separately in prelims. Musk deer was asked in 2020. Red panda was asked. Wild ass was asked. Hmm? Lion-tailed macaw was asked. Cheetal was asked. Sarus crane was asked. The remaining snow leopard was there. Maybe in 21 they may ask you. Angul Kashmir stag is there. They may ask you where do you find this Angul? Hemis National Park, Jammu and Kashmir. So guys, just read these snow leopard, mm, northeast, Himalayas, etc. Go through these every animal that is mentioned. UPSC is not so tough. It is you need smartness. Then you see 2020 79th question. Here, this is a very a funny question. Not funny question, but as I'm telling you, like this is a very question that is typical of UPSC. See, uh, here UPSC asked some three statements about Indian coal, and UPSC has taken these three statements from three different years. From 2011, it took about the oxides of nitrogen and sulfur and kept it here as a statement 2. From 2013, 61 question, it took about the high ash content and it formed this statement of third. Then in from 2015, it took the statement related to fly ash and formed this first statement, coal ash, fly ash. So this is how UPSC is making questions from the previous year paper. So for me, 2020 79 question is nothing but a repetition of previous year papers, previous year questions. So again, you see 2020 81 question. This is about Wildlife Protection Act and the schedules. So guys, if you see 2017 35 question, 2017 91 question, both of them talk about Wildlife Protection Act and both of them are also related to Schedule 1. You see here, this is also about 91 question is also about schedules of Wildlife Protection Act. This is also about Wildlife Protection Act. So again, UPSC in 2020 asked about Wildlife Protection Act. It is just a repetition of the concept. So again, you see 2020 82nd question. You see this is about Gupta dynasty. So you know that Gupta dynasty is important. But in that is in 2010 55th question, Gupta period paintings was asked. So you know that Gupta period is important. Gupta dynasty is important. In even in mains, previously UPSC asked about Gupta coinage. So this Gupta and the arts, architecture, scholars, literature of Gupta period is important, and it is expected that you should have read about these things. And then you see 83rd question of 2020. It is about the advantage of zero tillage. Guys, you see UPSC gives some concept repeatedly in options, and then one day it will take that concept from the options and it will frame a question on that. You see, same thing happened with zero tillage. 2012, third statement is about zero tillage. 2017, 71st question, it is about zero tillage. Something was asked about zero tillage. In 2018, something was asked about minimum tillage. And again, directly in 2020, UPSC has been telling you from 2012 there is some concept called zero tillage. Guys, go through it, understand it. 2012 it asked, 2017 it asked, 2018 it asked, and in 2020 directly it made a statement or directly it made a question on zero tillage and asked advantages of zero tillage. Only UPSC becomes difficult if you don't understand UPSC. Once you understand UPSC and its nature, it becomes easier. You see 2020 86th question. This is about pulse production. So basically this question is about pulses, green gram, etc., black gram, etc. So you see, the people thought this is a very difficult question. It is not at all difficult. It is just a repetition. In 2012, a question was asked about cowpea, green gram, pigeon pea. Then if when you have read this 2012 44th question and read about these things, then you would know that green gram, which was So in 2012, they said second statement, green gram alone accounts for nearly half of the pulse production. No, false. So if you know that second is false, answer is A. So this is how it is important to go through the previous year questions. So here in 2020, 87 question, you see, they have given some of the conditions and they asked the which of the following crops are related or comes under those conditions. So answer is cotton. But this there is a continuous trend. Every 2010 there was conditions were given and then they asked which of the following is a crop. In 2010 again they have given some conditions and they are asked about the crops. So crops and conditions an important topic and you should have expected it and it asked in 2020 also. Not just in 2010, there are many years questions have come on the crops and conditions. You can just go through the previous years. Then you see 2020 89th question. This is about cultivation of sugar. Most of the students felt that this is a very difficult question and but if you see the previous year question papers 2014 first question is about the concept called sustainable sugarcane initiative. So if you have read this concept sustainable sugarcane initiative you would have answered this question pretty well. Then you see 2020 90th question, this is about eco-friendly agriculture. So same concept differently was asked in 2018. There they said conservative agriculture and then they have given some of the practices. Then they differently asked it as eco-friendly agriculture and they asked some of the practices. Then you see 2020 92nd question. This is about major minerals. Then you see 2019 a question was about minor minerals. So when you were reading or going through 2019 question paper, you should have read about minor minerals. The other side of minor minerals is major minerals. Then if you have read major minerals, you should be able to do this. Then you see 2020 95th question. So this is about in desert national park and some of the statements related to desert national park. You see in 2010 only they have asked about, you see 2010 this second one, you see desert national park, Great Indian Bustard. The same thing was lifted and asked as a state question in 2020 95th. It is one of the natural habitats of Indian bustard. True. Then they made an extra. The development from 2010 to 2020. Same thing, differently asked. Then you see 2020, 96th question. This is about the location of Siachen Glacier. It is situated to the. Then you see 2019, 38th question. You see fourth statement. You see Siachen was asked and its related river was asked. Then if you had known that Nubra river comes from Siachen, at least you would know that something called Nubra Valley is related to Siachen. Then the answer is north of Nubra Valley. So this is how guys UPSC or previous year questions in UPSC will help you to clear the prelims. Then you see 97 2020 question. Sorry, 2020 28th 97th question of 2020. So this is about famous places and present state. Some famous places were given and Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat. So same kind that northwestern part of famous places 2016 famous places region. Again the famous places were changed but the area that is northwestern part Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand, Vidarbha, Malwa these are all northwestern part famous places and region was asked again in 2020. It was asked in 2016 94th and 2020 97 question. Then you see 2020 98th question. This is about Central Groundwater Authority, what through which law it was framed, etc. So it is about Environmental Protection Act, etc. So you see 1996th of 2014, they made a statement. Animal Welfare Board was established under it. Welfare Board was not established under Environmental Protection Act. It was mentioned. It was created by Cruelty Animals Act something. So you know that when you have read 2014 96th question, there was something called as Environmental Protection Act. Then you would have known that Central Groundwater Authority was formed under Environmental Protection Act. So this is the importance of previous year questions, guys. So in the last few days, if you are worried or you are thinking about what to do, just take from 2010 and 2020, go through the concepts and just check. This is a checklist. I would say this is a checklist for your 2021 prelims. Just go through the previous year questions and see, do you know something about these concepts which are mentioned? Like if something is mentioned, Environmental Protection Act was mentioned, just go through it. Forest Rights Act is mentioned. Okay, do you know something basic? Recollect it. So this is how you should. Some animal is mentioned, like say for example, caracal was mentioned or something. Caracal is important this year because recently it was listed under critically endangered. So guys, just go through the previous years and try to just recollect the concepts which are there in the previous years. If you don't know anything, just try to Google it, Wikipedia it, try to know it. Don't take too much of tension. If the more with the more confident you are in the exam, the better you will do. So if you are appearing or attempting questions with anxiety, with fear, there is a more possibility that you will do wrongs. So just be confident, feel free, and approach a paper with positive mindset and positive attitude. You will be able to do it. Thank you from the insights. All the best.